Tomorrow's technology today, securely wired to the cloud. Welcome to our Microsoft 365 training series. As a gold certified Microsoft partner, we will walk you through the latest updates, tips, and tricks for Microsoft products.
So if you have a Microsoft Office 365 subscription, you have all kinds of cool tools at your fingertips. So hopefully you got a chance to grab some lunch and you can eat while you learn a few things about what is included. So I am super excited for our fourth quarter training series. We have been talking a lot about what the apps are that are included with your 365 subscription. So for today's session, I want to talk more about Microsoft Mobile. So included in the Office and Microsoft 365 subscriptions, we have these apps. So if you go out to a store, you are going to see, you can see Microsoft Office app, and that is going to include Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, or you can do just the individual apps. If you don't want all three, if you just want maybe just Word or maybe just Excel, you can do that too. So, and we also have Outlook, OneNote, Teams, OneDrive, Office Lens, SharePoint, and Yammer. So these are all available for download via your app store. You just need your Microsoft account to get signed in once you get the app installed. So you can install on Android phones and tablets, iPhones and iPads, and Windows 10 phones. And you can also share with people inside or outside of your organization when you're using all of these different apps. So your 365 subscription includes the app installation on up to 5 devices. So it's actually kind of interesting to think about how quickly you can get up to 5 devices. So if you have a work computer or a home computer, a tablet, a phone, let's say maybe a spare of any one of those, then there you go, boom, you're already to 5 different devices. So if you are working, if you are accessing work data on a home device though, make sure that you are in compliance with your organization's policy on bringing your own device. So a bring your own device is going to be any device that you purchase that is not provided by your company. And if you are the owner and you guys don't have a bring your own device policy, let us know and we will gladly help you draw one up. We want to make sure that your data stays safe. We also want your employees to stay safe so that if anything happens to your company, somehow their personal data isn't breached and vice versa. So the first thing that I want to talk about is saving. So OneDrive. So a lot of people have questions about when to use OneDrive, when do you save locally, when to use SharePoint, kind of what's the difference between all those different save options. So OneDrive is going to be basically like saving personal data, like it's only unique to one person. Yes, they can share out from there, and yes, that's going to be what we recommend if they share outside of the organization, but kind of think of it as like your own personal storage data that's saved within the cloud. And then you also have, technically you could do, have it also on your local computer, but we're gonna kind of steer you towards saving that information on the cloud. Should something happen to your device, you're still able to log in and pull it back down. Whereas SharePoint, on the other hand, is going to be company data. So that's going to be anything that is shared across multiple departments, or even just if you are a larger organization and you need to share with a lot of different people, that's when you're going to want to use SharePoint. So again, so now that Microsoft has you saving data in the cloud, that means that you need to log in with your Microsoft account, and you can access that data from any device that has an internet connection. What this also means is, again, make sure that you are in compliance with your organization's policy on bringing your own device. So it's extremely common now that with this mixed world of working from home and everything is starting to blend together, that more and more people are using personal devices, or maybe even just to get different devices that people are buying, like the home edition of Windows. So just making sure that you are in compliance with whatever your organization has set up to keep their data secure. So we also want to make sure that if you are using a personal device, that you are putting security parameters in place. Things such as using a secure network, keeping your Windows up to date, make sure you're using a firewall, make sure you're using antivirus and keeping that up to date. These are all things that are going to help prevent an attack from happening either on a home device or a work device. So I do want to note too that Microsoft is going to have you save to OneDrive, so your files are in the cloud. You can still save to your local device by turning off the autosave and doing a file save as. And I know that gets a little confusing if you're just starting, or if you start saving copies of your work, but I just want you to be aware that you can go up top left corner and you can turn off that autosave option and save it locally if you want to. So to this point, if you are saving your files to OneDrive, OneDrive is a cloud storage system. This is fantastic. Again, should something happen to your physical device and you don't have anything saved on the actual hard drive because it's in the cloud. But let's be clear that OneDrive is not a backup solution. As a technology company, we are going to push you to be redundant with your data, but in a safe way. So use a third-party backup system. It can be an external drive that uses encryption and lock it in a safe place. Just make sure you sync your data often so you have what is current and not some dusty backup should disaster strike. That won't do you any good. So on SharePoint, SharePoint works very similar to OneDrive. You can access all of the files you have access to on your company SharePoint from your mobile device. Again, you can go out, you can install Microsoft SharePoint app from the App Store. It's the same functionality as the desktop client if you need to edit or share within your organization. Does anyone have any questions so far? You can drop them in the chat, or if you want to unmute your mic.
Yep, no questions so far that I see. And again, yep, use that questions option or the chat, either one. I will gladly get those answered for you if you do not want to unmute yourself.
All right, sounds good. We're gonna keep going then. So using these apps. So as far as actually using the apps, so now we have a clear understanding of what saving in Microsoft's cloud will do for you, and that you can have your Office apps installed on up to 5 devices. When we put that together, you're able to do work on, let's say, your work computer, then you can use your smartphone to access the updated file. You're able to edit from any device, and a lot of times you have to tell the device to enable editing. So just make sure if you get that little ribbon up across the top that asks you to enable the data, make sure you click on that button, and that's going to give you edit access. That's just a security feature from Microsoft. When you are sharing a document with someone, you can both edit the document at the same time. Again, that is the beauty of 365. You will know if the document is shared with you by opening the app, go to the home screen, and you can look at the Shared With Me tab, and the name of the document will show up in there. If you want to share with someone, this again is where OneDrive comes in handy. So save it to your OneDrive and click the share button at the top. If the document isn't already saved in OneDrive, you will be prompted to do this first, and then you can choose specify people, enter their email address, and select your edit settings and enter a message if you want to just send it from there. Outlook. So all day long, we're going to tell people to use the Outlook app as opposed to the native email app when it comes to your device. So we have a few reasons for this. Number one, we steer everyone to multi-factor authentication. So not that multi-factor authentication won't work with the native email app, but it is designed to work with the Microsoft products, and that is where it will be supported. Number two, the look of the app is extremely similar to what you have on the client that is installed on your computer, so you will get more features with the Outlook app as opposed to any other email app. This is to help you keep productive and secure. And then the third reason is if your device becomes lost or stolen, we can do a remote wipe when the device is connected to the internet. This will get rid of your email from the lost or stolen device. And we'll talk some more about that in just a little bit, how that feature can be utilized. So I also want to point out that there's also the Outlook web app. And basically to get to that, if you go to outlook.office.com, and you can use any browser to get to that, now you also have access to your email on any device. But again, make sure that they're doing Windows updates, they have antivirus installed, that all those different security measures that we talked about are in place. OneNote. So OneNote is a digital notebook, and you can make as many notebooks as you want, and you can have them shared among all of your different devices. So of course, this is really, really handy, especially if you take a lot of notes. You can do all the formatting and everything from each device that you have the app installed on. And again, then it will also show up on any other device. So let's say that you have a desktop computer in your office, but you take your tablet with you to, let's say, client sites or something like that. You will be able to update your notes on the computer, and then you can just take your tablet with you. If you want during the meeting, you can also update on your tablet, and then they'll show back up on your desktop. Teams. So we love Teams, and I think I say that every single time that I talk about it. I have used it for years and years. So if your company is not using Teams yet, please let us know, and I would love to help you get started. You can have your mobile device set so you get notifications. So it's similar to any other messaging app that you have. You can also get to all of your Teams channels and your chats, any files that were shared with you. You can even start a meeting. Let's say if you are in the office and you start the meeting on your desktop and you're like, oh, I need to run out. So then you switch your meeting over to your phone, and if your car has Bluetooth enabled, your phone will automatically switch over, and now you're listening to the meeting while you drive. So super convenient. Amy, I don't know if you want to talk any more about that.
Yep, I just turned my stuff back on there so I could say hello again. Yes, I do this all the time. So I know I've talked about this on other webinars of ours when we talked specifically about Teams. I'm in Teams all the time. I use it on my phone constantly. I obviously use it on my computer as well, but I use it on my phone very regularly, and I will bounce back and forth all the time. So I may be answering someone in Teams on my phone while I'm doing something else in Teams on my computer. I do that sometimes, but also in meetings. I have had to start a meeting on the phone and then go to the computer, or vice versa, and you can easily log into either one and then just start right back up. So it is very nice. And for me, I plug mine right into my car, and then I can hear it over the speakers in my car, and I can just talk to them like I would someone sitting in the car, so my hands are completely free. I absolutely love it. And as I told Katie before, maybe this is good, maybe this is bad. I probably pay a little more attention even when I'm in the car driving than when I'm on a Teams meeting and don't have my camera on at home, because I'm probably doing 3 more things on the computer at the same time. So I do love the flexibility of that, especially the Teams app. And Outlook too. One thing I will mention, what I do with the Outlook app is I actually will have it read my emails to me in my car as well. So I'll let you go back to it.
Great point. Yes, that's also a wonderful feature. All right, and then the other mobile app that is available is Yammer. So Yammer isn't one that we talk about a whole lot because, like I said, we are huge fans of Teams. So, but just so that you guys know this is available to you, Yammer is a form of social media. So think of it as a social internet for companies. So you can chat, you can share files, but again, we are going to recommend Teams to you. It just has a lot more features. Manage devices. So for deploying and managing mobile apps. So in addition to using a PIN to lock your device and MFA to protect your Microsoft account, you can secure your data with mobile device management, which is included in Microsoft 365 and Microsoft Intune. So these are tools that your IT person or your IT company will use. So these are not tools for the end user. So don't think that you're gonna, like download an app this afternoon and tear it up in mobile device management or Microsoft Intune. Like that's not the case, but we just want you to know that these tools are available, and it makes really just managing all the different devices and the many different ways that your employees access data, like it just makes it more secure, and it helps make them more productive, as well as making your IT person or team or whatever also more productive. So if it's something you guys are interested in too, please feel free to give us a call, and we are more than happy to talk about it. but I do want to explain. So mobile device management. So this tool is for productivity and security. So basically with MDM, you can keep track of inventory, you can remote wipe a device that is lost or stolen, or you can also enforce passcode policies. So again, this tool is not for everyone. You will want a global admin to have control, and typically, again, it's done by your IT person or company. So Intune. So again, this is also for your IT person or company, but with Intune, you can set rules and configure settings on personal and organization-owned devices to access data and networks. You can deploy and authenticate apps on devices, on-prem and mobile. You can also protect your company information by controlling the way users access and share information. And you can also just be sure devices and apps are compliant with your security requirements. So just so that you know, those are included in some of the Microsoft Office 365 licensing. So, all right. So we will get further into some of those security measures and IT tools as we go. So up next on October 20th at 12:15, we have multi-factor authentication, which we touched on just briefly today, but I want to deep dive into that next time so everyone has an understanding of why this security is so important and the steps that you can take to make sure that your company stays secure.
Yes.
So Amy, do you have anything else, or does anybody have any?
I will say for the MFA or multi-factor, if you have anyone in your company who is like me when I first started using MFA, who complained about having to put in the extra code or do the extra step, I encourage you to have them watch that and see why they need to do it. I do not complain about it at all. And in fact, on one of my apps that I have to use, it's a very important tool and it has some very important information on it. It's 4 steps for me to get into it. But I 100% get why it's 4 steps. It's very important information. So yeah, I would highly encourage you or anyone you know to understand what MFA is, what it means, and why you need it. So yes, I would say bring everyone with you to that one.
Perfect.
Otherwise, it looks like all of our questions.
All right. Well, sorry for the rocky start. Thank you so much. Okay. Very good. All right. Well, thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great afternoon.
Thank you for viewing this episode in our series. To learn more about our next presentation, visit www.tomtechtoday.com/training webinar. We look forward to seeing you there.